Thami Dickson is out in MVezo on this International Nelson Mandela Day. There's going to be a statue unveiled of our late former President Nelson Mandela. Thami is going to be chatting to Mandela. Thami, a very good morning to you again.
Well, good morning, Leanne. Thank you very much and welcome to the great place here in MVezo, Komkhulu, the birthplace of the global icon, Utata Nelson Mandela. This day he would have turned 96, but unfortunately the heavens decided otherwise. This is the day normally the family gathers around the world icon to celebrate his birthday. Now that he's gone, we're just going to find out now from his grandson, Chief Mandela, as to how is the family holding up, how are they coping with him not being there, especially that this is the first Nelson Mandela Day, having been declared, of course, by the United Nations way back in 2009, Chief, that the world on this day must gather together and try to do something good that will represent Mandela's legacy. As I welcome you here, how's the family coping with this being the first birthday without Nkosi Dalbong?
Well, the family is doing all right thus far. I think it has been a sad loss to lose a father, a husband, a grandfather. But all of us celebrate the life and the achievements of my grandfather. As South Africans and the nation at large, we have learned many lessons from him. The times we have spent with him and the many experiences that he has had with all peoples from different walks of life has left a huge imprint in our hearts. And therefore, having dedicated 67 years of his life to serving humanity, he encouraged us as his family to ensure that we are of service to our communities and to our nation. And it is that today we hold on so dearly to ensure that we continue contributing to his legacy and preserving his legacy for future generations, in ensuring that we do the little that we can to contribute to our communities.
Now, today it's going to be a great day, quite a lot of activities that have been lined up here at MVezo. Briefly tell us about those activities. We do know that President Zuma is also going to be part of those celebrations. Tell us briefly about some of the things that you'll be doing today.
Well, the main message for the day is anchored around the President's calling for all South Africans to keep South Africa clean. And therefore, we are going out as a community to clean 3 villages in and around MVezo, in Matiba's birthplace. And from the first area in Mazikhanye, where the Mandela School of Science and Technology is located, we will start there and clean in the area for 67 minutes and culminate with the unveiling of a statue of my grandfather's grandfather, Mandela, whom we trace our name from as a family. Then we will come to a Gwatyu, where the community would have cleaned in that area, and we are building the Makhathulewanika Mandela Primary School named after my father. Right. It will be completed on the 17th of November, due to be opened by the President in January. Right. So we are going to go and have a look at the progress made there and distribute some hats, scarves and gloves to kids at that school. We will then finally come to the great place here and finish off our cleaning project in and around this area. Right. And eventually opened the MVezo Komkhulu Museum, which in front has a statue of my grandfather, right, which will also be unveiled.
Right. Now, just briefly, I see that it is a beautiful design of this museum. It's quite different from what we know of museums, because this one is actually made up of rondavels. It's not just one structure with different rooms. Tell us a bit about this design behind this museum.
Well, the MVezo Komkhulu Museum is an interpretation of who we are as Abatembu Nation and as the Mandela family. and the community of MVezo. The traditional council decided that, they want to preserve their own architectural designs, but add in a tweak to it of modernity. And that is how they came up with this design of ensuring that they put up rondavells. But we also have an amazing amphitheater inside there, which will be a place where people will come and do their cultural performances, where we can have cultural dialogues and cultural exchange programs. We have had the Maasai come and visit us here from Kenya, and we have a good relation with the Maasai chiefs there. Right. So the museum, it's got about 10 exhibition rondavells. Yeah. Each rondavel will have a different theme. We would like to tell the story of who we are as Abatembu Nation, where the Mandela royal family is located within the greater Abatembu Nation, and who was the first administrator here in MVezo, being Nkosi Mpakanyiswa, my grandfather's father, and how he was forcefully removed from this area. Then also speak about my grandfather's birth and his growing up in MVezo, Unu, and Mqhekezweni under the house of Jongintaba. But we don't want to sway so much onto the political story because we believe it has been well covered in other museums. We would like to speak about the family man, his engagement during his lifetime and during the time he was incarcerated, how he was able to engage with the late King Jonglanga Sabata Dalindyebo, as well as the first president of Transkei, Kaiser Matanzima, and how he had to influence traditional leaders from within prison walls.
Okay. Chief, because of time constraints, unfortunately, I have to leave it here. But we do appreciate all the efforts that you have put into this place to build it into such a magnificent structure as it is now. And I'm sure the people of South Africa, when they come here later today with President Zuma, they will appreciate all these efforts in remembrance of Nkosi Utalpunga. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That's the grandson to the late global icon, Utata Nelson Mandela, giving us really a sense of what is expected today in terms of all the activities that they will be engaged in remembrance of Utata Nelson Mandela, the opening of the museum, very beautiful structure just behind me, a beautiful design, completely different. It's completely out of the box. It's rondavels, obviously influenced by the surroundings here, because this is how houses are built here. It's rondavels. These are the rural areas. So the museum itself is built in such a way that it actually represents the environment in which Utata Nelson Mandela grew up. So we will wait for President Zuma to arrive a little later on this morning so that we continue with the proceedings of celebrating the Mandela Day. With that, it's back to the studio in Johannesburg.
All right, thank you very much, Thami. Exciting moment, I imagine, for the community of MVezo as well as for Mandla, Madiba's great, his grandson.